Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly.
Hi.
Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
It's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guests?
Yes, from the movie DEATHWOODS, we got a bunch of people. So I don't know, again, who you're starting with. So
You tell me.
who's in the room? Is Jake here yet?
He just dropped out. But
All right.
I'll jump in.
So I guess we'll start with one of the writers, Scott Connor.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Scott.
How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Pretty good.
And then we do have the two leads. So I guess we'll start with KateLynn Newberry. I don't know if you want. I see KateLynn there. So how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. And then we do have Anthony Dain.
That's me.
I was like, wait a minute, he's not even watching. Yeah, welcome to the show. And we also just added, we have Jake, who's the director, correct?
Correct. It looks like he's
A little frozen.
Co-director, but yeah, sorry, I'm actually on set right now and had to pop out to the car, so I apologize for my setting.
That's okay. That's okay. But yeah, well, welcome to the show. Some of you have been here before, and welcome back. Others, welcome. Hopefully, you have a good time, and you come back when you want to promote something new. But anyways, who would like to talk about this? About the movie and a little bit about the story. I know. Well, Scott, you're one of the writers, right?
Yes.
So if you want to give a little synopsis, maybe without giving too much away.
Well, it's a movie basically filmed out in the woods. We have a group of people going camping. There's some local legends about the woods they're going camping in. And then a lot of deaths start happening. It's kind of a throwback to like the Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp type movies.
Nice. Which those are always a good time. And it's perfect because you got Felissa Rose in there. And you also have Elsie Holtz in there as well. They're no stranger to the show as well. Like we've had them on, Elsie especially, multiple times. And it's always good to see him in things. So I just want to make sure that we don't get too gerbled up with gerbled. I don't even know if that's a word. Jumbled up, I guess, with sound. But so Jake, what was your approach with this, and how did you pick your cast? And oh no, he didn't like that question. He just did not like that question. He's like, "Gerbled, I'm out of here."
This guy doesn't even speak English, so
He's
we're getting off this set.
Yeah. He's
I
like,
can answer that if you want.
Okay.
I can answer that. Or there he is.
Well, I'm going to try to get through this. I didn't know how bad service would be here.
That's okay.
So once again, my apologies. Picking the cast, we did your, very standard process. We threw out a relatively small net and didn't go on like backstage or actors access or anything. Just kind of let word of mouth spread on everybody's social media pages, and actors back and
I got about a third of that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's cutting out pretty bad. I apologize.
Excuse me.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's my fault.
That's all right. No worries. It happens. But so it was just I'm trying to decipher what was said. Scott, do you you said you may be able to answer some of that?
Yes. So we just did basic auditions online through like posts on Instagram and Facebook. I created the characters a while back, so we were looking for people to fit those roles, and we found everything we needed. We had a great cast, very attractive cast, and they all did well.
Nice.
Yeah,
And,
because
sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say because the cast has like a mix of like the who's of the horror genre, and then like the up and comers. So it's like two different generations of horror actors and actresses coming together in one movie. So that's what it seems like from the casting.
Yeah. And Sergio's already asking if we have a trailer. We do have the teaser trailer that we'll play a little bit later. But what is the where are we at in like the production point? Are you guys still raising funds, or is production still in process, or where are we at so far?
We're currently in post production. We're on our third rough cut. As far as production goes, everything's funded except for getting our score done. We're just waiting on getting the final cut to get that done.
Nice. The has there been any major hiccups or anything along the road so far?
Not really. I think mainly just trying to figure out what we want to cut and what we want to keep in the edits.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's tough. I mean, I'm sure it's tough because everything it's could be looked at as like your baby, and it's you want to keep everything, but then it's just like, all right, we have to figure out what makes sense here, and
Right.
all that. So you guys are no stranger. Like looking at Anthony's IMDb, looking at KateLynn's IMDb, you guys are no stranger to this stuff. So we are a stranger to this stuff. So it's interesting to us, like how that decision making comes to be. Like you guys have obviously worked and done some really, really cool things. And this is just going to be another cool thing added to your list. And, it's, we just like to hear the behind the scenes stories kind of deal, what's the, you guys have like an estimated like release date that you're shooting for? Or is it something where it's just like, all right, we're gonna have to see where we're at before we legit put out a date?
Mainly where we're at. We have some people we'll be talking to as far as distribution.
Okay.
So as far as the release date goes, I don't know. I would like to have a premiere at some point pretty soon. We just got to make sure we get the edit how we want first and get the score laid down.
Right on. Now, for Anthony and KateLynn, are like what was your approach for the characters with this one? Is it looking at the teaser, it doesn't tell us a lot other than you're in the woods and stuff goes down, and there's a baddie in the woods that's what makes for a good horror movie, in my opinion. So what was did you have like a particular approach to make it kind of, even though it's like a homage or a throwback like previous times, is it something where you wanted to make it your own?
Go ahead.
I feel like the dynamics between Anthony and I feel like regardless of the chaos happening around us, I feel like our relationship was very, very grounded. And also my character's an introvert and I'm an introvert, so it really wasn't that far of a stretch for me, really.
It always baffles me when people that do this kind of stuff are introverts. It always baffles me, for real.
It took me like a week to recover.
I'm so embarrassed. Like, yeah, I don't know how you do it. I don't know. What about yourself, Anthony? Was there anything you did differently with this role compared to some other stuff?
Nothing like super different that I haven't done with anything else. I mean, it's funny because KateLynn, we've worked on a project together in the past, although we never actually to really share a scene as close as we got to in this one. So being able to work with her really helped me with my character because really all acting is just playing volley between two different people. And when we're both kind of grounded in this, and honestly, I'm also an introvert, so being able to play on our own little world of things as it's kind of developing, we got to do it together, which really helped each other out. I know it helped me, so I didn't really have to do a whole lot of work because KateLynn made it really easy for me.
Thank you. You made it really easy too.
There you go. That's chemistry right there. You can see that
And
stuff on the screen, right, Tony?
yeah, I was gonna say like we say it a lot where you could tell, you know, that it works. There's sometimes you see like even like the bigger movies or like not just independent movies. A lot of the times where it's like, yeah, it just didn't seem right off the screen. But then it's like if you tell that people are compatible or have fun on set, you could just tell that like oozing through the screen. There's been times where it's like, oh, you must have known each other for like years beforehand. It's like now we just met on set like 3 days, but it just seemed to fit. Then there's other times where it's like, we've known each other a while, but it just sometimes it just doesn't work. But hearing that, I just can't wait to see it because then you would be able to tell that it worked. So
Nice.
it looks like Jake is kind of
Yeah, and it looks like looking at his signal, it's a little bit stronger. So I don't
Stronger?
know. If
Can
you're
you guys hear
driving.
me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. I was gonna say I don't know if
Yes.
you drove somewhere, but I can see the lights going behind you.
I'm trying to find a better spot. For whatever reason, I can hear everybody except Anthony. Anthony's frozen on my screen, but I can hear everybody else.
I think
Weird.
that we've had that before where it's like everything works for some except for one or the like vice versa. It's just emucks.
Well, I'll have to say it's a good thing you didn't hear what Anthony had to say. Woof.
I was gonna say I was a little nervous,
He
that
said
guy.
nothing. He said nothing bad. But now that we have a better connection, so like with this particular one, did you have like you have Felissa and you have LC in there? Was that like a goal? Like originally when you started this one, like, okay, these are the people I want to get in this one, or is it something where you're like, okay, we're going to do this, and then the opportunity came to be, or was it kind of pre-planned, or was it something that just fell into your lap, or how did that work?
Felissa was definitely pre-planned. LC, Felissa had actually introduced me to him a while back and talked about possibly bringing him in. And then, not sure if it was Jake or Jaron, our DP, that contacted LC, but they brought him in for the scene that we shot him with.
Nice. Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. I've never got a chance to meet him in person, but Felissa, on the other hand, she's a spitfire, I tell you. But you guys know that. But yeah, I don't know. She's just great.
So with Jake, you had your hands pretty much all over the film, went from directing to writing to acting in it. Like I know we had you on for I think another movie. Was directing always that next step? Were you always going to? Because I know we had I think for an acting part it was like was the progression there? Did you know that's what you wanted to get to was directing?
So my relationship in front of and behind the camera is interesting because I started as an actor, and Celeste Blandon, my girlfriend, who also stars in the film, and I had moved to Los Angeles right when the pandemic started. And during those first few months of quarantine, her and I just to like pass time and work creatively, made like little iPhone short films just ourselves. And we found that we really liked writing scripts together. And I found that I liked being behind the camera. So that kind of snowballed into getting on productions as a production assistant or trying to help out camera. And then we started making our own actual like short films with crews, and I directed some and found that I really liked that. So it's not something that I initially like set out to do. I set out to be an actor, and then directing and producing and writing just kind of happened. And so I'm really thankful that Scott gave me and Derek Worley, my co-director, the opportunity to direct Deathwoods. And we had a great time. Our cast was awesome. And yeah, we had worked with LC on Watchdog and on Phantom Fun World prior to Deathwoods. So if Felissa and Scott wanted LC, I'm sure Jaron contacted him and got him on board. And LC's great, amazing actor. He made that opening scene that we did so smooth. I know you get like a little snippet of it in our Indiegogo trailer that's still on YouTube, but that full cold open is a great way to start the film.
Nice. Yeah. So is there anything out there besides that teaser trailer, like or is it just the teaser trailer that's out there now?
So we have our like quote unquote official teaser trailer that we released on Earth Day last month or the month before that. I can't remember what month it was. But we have a like Indiegogo campaign trailer that we used to launch the Indiegogo campaign prior to filming the movie. Mm-hmm. So what we had done was we went out with LC and Anna Clary, Miles Dimitri Baker from Ice Nine Kills, and Jessa Jupiter Flux, and we filmed the first 5 minutes of the movie, the cold open, and then used footage from that to cut a Indiegogo trailer, and then used that trailer to get more funding for the film. Oh. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that yet, definitely go to YouTube and check that out, because we actually showcase a lot of the kills of those initial characters in that Indiegogo trailer. Yeah, where we really wanted to show the practical effects that Derek Worley was able to bring to the table, and that we really wanted to drive that home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one I grabbed is not that one. I think the one I grabbed is the 48-second teaser trailer.
Deathwoods. Yeah, that's the official Grindhouse style teaser that we thought was going to be really fun and get people's attention.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, and if you're still doing some funding, then definitely, look it up and go support where you can. I always recommend, and I'll update the show notes and stuff too, if that's still the case. We'll put that in the show notes. I didn't have the link or anything beforehand.
Yeah, the Indiegogo is no longer running, but that trailer that we used for Indiegogo is on YouTube, so you can still see it on the Deathwoods YouTube channel. Yeah.
All right, cool. And I'll throw that in the show notes and stuff too, so people can check that out.
Now, was it tough directing, like having starting as an actor? Like, is there two different ways to see it? Like, as an actor, would you be like, I might have did that scene a little bit different, but I'm also a director, so I gotta let the actors kind of do it? Like, is it difficult to do that, going from one aspect to the other?
I think starting as an actor benefits me as a director in a sense of like talking with the actors, because you kind of know actor talk and how people can work, and you can see that perspective, having done it, having experienced working with directors who either give too much direction and micromanage or don't give enough direction. And I think that helped me. And my directing style, I want to say, is I want the actors to bring to the table themselves, and that's why we cast them. Like, if you cast an actor, I feel like a lot of the job a director has with the actors is, you pick somebody because you want them and what they're going to bring to that role. And if you try to micromanage that, you lose the naturalistic reason, I guess, of why you chose that actor. So I really like letting the actors play, doing a couple takes maybe almost as written, like they can still kind of change their lines a little bit, but then also letting them do takes where they kind of go off the rails and do whatever. And I think you find really fun moments doing that. And specifically with Deathwoods, since I was on screen sometimes as one of the side characters, thank God I had Scott and my co-director Derek Worley on the monitors. Scott originally wrote Deathwoods years ago, so he's very attached to the script. He knows the script and he knows the scenes, he knows what he wants. And Derek, also being just one, a good director, two, he's very knowledgeable when it comes to like horror, and just he's a huge horror fan. Watches everything. So I always trusted him to be on monitor and be able to call out things and suggest things and do all that stuff, and he did, and so did Scott. So it was a lot of weight off my shoulders when I was on screen, having them steering the ship.
Nice.
Plus, those other cuts make some good extra features for the physical media when it comes out.
Right.
Those like
I'm
blooper
gonna be
reels and
pulling
stuff
for
like that.
I'm going to be pulling for a blooper reel during the credits. I don't know if everybody's down for that, but I miss films that have bloopers going during the credits, and I think it would really
Like
fun
like
to do
old school like
I think
Smokey
we
and
have some
Bandit.
intense moments for that.
What'd you say?
I think we have some intense moments for that,
Yeah.
don't we, KateLynn?
There's so much funny stuff that happens too.
Yeah,
There's a plethora of footage.
that's one thing where it's just fun where you could see like the movie, especially like special features where you see the veil pulled back a little bit, not everything, but enough where it's just like, okay, this is what film's all about. Where it's like, but then sometimes too, it's fun to see how all the practical stuff is made. Is there? I'm guessing there's a bunch of practical stuff in here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Only practical. I don't think we'll have a single visual effects like kill in the film.
Yay!
That's what us horror fans like to hear these days is, practical. Sometimes, I mean, I guess if you could do it right, where, there are some where it's like, okay, it's done right, but then there's a lot of times where people try and it just.
But there's also
not
some
there.
that do it just for the sake of doing it because it's maybe easier. I don't know if it's cheaper, but it might be easier. But I don't know. It takes me out of it personally, but that's just me, and whatever. The average viewer may not care, but I don't know. I do. It brings me out of it.
But I'm sure it makes it more fun for the actors. I'm guessing,
Oh
possibly.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I would think so.
100%.
If I was ever lucky enough to be in something cool like that, and I was like, all right, this is all going to be done with computers, I'd be like, oh man, like,
I feel the same way.
yeah,
Hard pass.
yeah.
So
I think physical work is more appreciated.
100%, especially these days where it's like not few and far between. I think there's a lot more people going the practical route again, but like from the the early 80s and 90s where was the norm, then it's like, okay, let me try something else and put all these like digital stuff in. Now with the resurgence of practical, you could just tell the difference between it. So
13th Wolfman agrees. Is practical's the way to go. Good to see you in the chat, Wolfie. I haven't seen you in a long time. Come back on sometime. Why don't you? He used to be a regular part of the show for years, and then he just isn't anymore. But also Sergio's in the chat. He wanted to make sure that he said hi to everybody. So hi from Sergio. But yeah, so this may be like a loaded question for Anthony and KateLynn, but are you guys horror fans in general? Some actors and actresses, and again, he just was so offended by my question. He's like,
You're not including me? I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's a horror fan, but are you guys like horror fans in general? Like going like your youth? Like were you horror fans like growing up? Or is this like newer to you? You'd be surprised, or maybe not, like how many actors and actresses like we have on now. Like, no, I'm not really a horror.
yeah, this was my first time, and I want to go do more. That a couple people said that. Then others, of course, it's like I've been watching horror since I was like 5. So
Yeah.
But would you?
Yeah, I've been watching horror since I was a child, but I also really like true crime documentaries.
Same. Yeah.
So those are like if I'm going to watch anything, and quite frankly, I feel like because, and this sounds awful, but I feel like because I make so many movies, I don't even want to watch movies because I'm like sometimes burnt out from it. So I tend to watch a lot of documentaries because of that.
I understand.
Nothing wrong with that.
We watch a ton of movies too, and I go through phases where I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I just need a break, and I'll go to Netflix and whatever. I'm like, all right, what's some documentaries? It doesn't even have to be true crime. I'll just watch documentaries. As long as it's done well, I don't care.
Yeah.
For me, my waves are like horror movie, and then like a nice 90s like Little Giants or something like that to, reset my brain here and there. So
What about you, Anthony?
Yeah, no, I grew up in horror. In fact, my favorite movie of all time in the horror genre is The Evil Dead. I mean, I grew up with Bruce Campbell. Like, that's one day, hopefully, I can do that. But I'm actually quite the opposite when it comes to like consuming content. Really, the only thing I can watch is movies, simply because my attention span is I need to be in and out. So. You get all of that in a film, but just like Tony said too, it's you watch a lot of horror, but then you gotta wash it out real quick with some like a rom-com comedy or something, just to refresh the palate, so to speak, and then you go right back into it.
Yeah, things start to blend together. It's true. They do. Like there's a lot of stuff like I get recommended, and a lot of the stuff like everything was clowns for a long time. Everything was found footage for a long time. Everything was something else for a long time. So it's like, at some point it's like you have to be something extremely special to stick out in those categories. And it's like it's very rare that you stumble across something that does really stick out sometimes in a lot of that.
It's funny too because it comes in waves too. If you've noticed, just like you said, clowns will be the thing, and then it'll move to another one. And I don't know, but to me right now, it feels like that next wave of what we're looking at is vampires.
You think vampires again?
Yeah.
Well, with Sinners,
KateLynn, Sinners just helps. I got Wendy coming up here soon. KateLynn, you just got off of what was it?
Devour. I did 2 different vampire films back to back.
Well, yeah, I think once because Nosferatu hit the thing, so I think that's where it's like, okay. Well, they tried it with Last Voyage of the Demented, whatever. That one was a little boring for me.
I watched the first 20 minutes of that one.
Yeah, it was the Last Voyage of Demeter or whatever it was.
I saw that in the theater with my dad, and I was like, that's another movie that was completely ruined by not practical effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like make up your mind. What is he going to be? Like, because it was like, in this scene, he looks like this, and then in the next scene, he looks completely different, but it's like, none of it was real. It was all CG. And it just, I don't know. Like, if you go back and you look at the history of that movie,
what is happening?
It was a mess. That movie lost its director numerous times before it finally was completed, and you can tell, I think. But I mean, I'm a big, I love Nosferatu, so I was like, all right, the OG Nosferatu. So I was like, all right, I want to at least give some support, even though it's big budget. It's like my $12 ticket or $13 ticket doesn't matter, but
Yeah, there's a lot of OnlyFangs is another one from AP Films. I think Jesse was in that.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's we've had the directors on plenty of times, and they did like Murder Size and stuff. Now they're doing it's like a vampire OnlyFans, but it's OnlyFangs. So
I see what you did there.
so it looks pretty interesting. But
AP Films, is that?
Yeah, AP Films.
Yeah, they're they put out some fun stuff, like for sure. Like check out their stuff if you haven't. Yeah, Murder Size was a good time.
So
but as far as that goes, if you hadn't noticed, what's coming out here very soon that I'm sure everybody's really excited to see is the new Scream movie, right?
With that one, I mean, to tell you the truth, they brought it back. I mean, I didn't mind the last one. I just don't know with the with the casting hell that they're now going through. I don't know how they're gonna put it all together, but I mean,
that's the draw of it too. But that also means that slashers are now coming back
You
again.
said the new Scream movie?
Yeah.
You haven't watched one yet, have
I
you?
haven't seen a single one.
Oh wow.
And not only that, I hosted a show on this very same channel called The Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter with me and my friend Jeremy, where one of the actresses from the original Scream, she was the third, she was the third host of the show, and we would make her watch movies that she had never seen because she never liked horror. So we were responsible for her watching The Shining for the first time, watching Evil Dead for the first time, like all this other stuff, and she had to give us her honest opinion on these movies. And the only movie she didn't love was Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2. Here's the thing. She thought Evil Dead 2 was too much. But listen. Dead Alive she thought was genius. I'm like, I agree, Dead Alive is genius, but Evil Dead 2 is too much, but Dead Alive isn't?
To each their own. But nonetheless, slashers are coming right back. Deathwoods is in perfect alignment with the new set of slashers that are coming. So I think this rotation of things is going to be pretty good.
Nice. Yeah. That's good point. Hopefully people will have the attention span. Now, are you guys still going to theaters and stuff to see movies?
Oh yeah,
100%.
You just went 2 days ago? What did you end up seeing?
Final Destination.
Same.
I heard good things.
I was very surprised by that movie, just because it went like the problem, like most franchises, once you get to like 8 or 9 or whatever, it's just like, what are you gonna do? But this one, I was just like, I mean, it seems like it's gonna be the last one because what it did was tie everything together, and it's just like, okay, you actually did. The other ones were just movies for movies' sake, and this one I was like, oh, all right, they pulled it together. So I liked it. I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to.
Now with the influx of more independent, like smaller budget movies doing small theater runs and stuff too, is that something you guys have thought about? Like, or is that something you guys are going to strive for at some point?
Yes, that's the ultimate goal, is to try to get like a limited theatrical release. I just went and watched a couple weeks ago, Clown in a Cornfield, and that movie did very well. I actually watched the cut we had of Deathwoods before I went and watched that, and then came back home and watched it after, and I felt Deathwoods was better, and it was like 1/10 of the budget. So
Yeah, we say it many a times. As long as you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter if whatever budget you have. There's like even going down to like the cameras, you could have the most expensive camera and not know what you're doing, or have a camera that's like not as expensive, but you know what you're doing with it, and you couldn't tell the difference. Or the one that might be a little cheaper looks better because you know what you're doing.
right, it's all about that. The guys working behind the scenes, the lights, everything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Is like if there's a good story and it's told well, I think some of the production stuff can be forgiven in a lot of ways. Like I find myself forgiving. Like I think it adds charm to it if it's like super low budget and it's just done really well. That's even better. Like if it's acted well, like an awesome story, like acted well, and just executed as best as they possibly could on their budget, then like more power to them. And that there's a lot of directors that I love now that started off that way, and they've just progressed, and now they're big budget directors, like well, Sam Raimi and everything, but even like Ty West, Peter Jackson, like
I mean, look at his first 3 movies: Meet the Feebles, Bad Taste, and Dead Alive.
Yeah.
Then he went to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, there was heavenly creatures in there after that.
Well, yeah, but
Anyways, I want to
It is-
play the trailer before Sergio asks multiple times. So I'm gonna play it now. It's only 48 seconds, Sergio. It's a teaser trailer. So if you miss it, I don't know what to tell you. We'll be right back in less than a minute. There you go.
If you dare to enter these woods, you will die. Deathwoods. Deathwoods. Campfire stories are fun until you become one. Deathwoods. 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 Who will survive? Bring a sleeping bag. Leave in a body bag. Deathwoods.
Not yet, read.
Deathwoods. While you're ready.
Deathwoods.
I wasn't sure what Felissa was screaming, but I'm pretty sure it was what the something. Sergio saw Final Destination Bloodlines as well. And then Life is Pain is saying it's like an infomercial. I love it.
Yeah, well,
for Dying in the Woods.
well, that was like a lot of the '80s trailers back in the day,
Or like
or
infomercial.
'70s more. Like that style of Deathwoods.
Oh,
It's kind of like the old 70s drive-in.
Exactly.
Movies.
So, by the way, Life is Pain 3 weeks in a row now. We have
not in a row because we missed a week last week. He pointed that out. Sorry.
three shows in a row.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We're not all perfect, and Kevin's the worst.
I am. It says it right there under my name. Right there.
Who I've been told.
There under my name. I'm the worst.
So now for Anthony and KateLynn, did you read the script and want to be a part of it, or that's the one thing. Like anybody trying to get into the acting world, how does it work? Like, do you read a script beforehand, or get a pitch beforehand and then go for it, or how does it all work? You see, we're casting, and then you jump into it, or is it casting first? Like you go for it and then get the script? Being a person who only does a podcast, I don't know my ass from my elbow. So how does it all work?
So Jake had reached out to me directly and asked me to read for the character, and I had a breakdown for her, and then I had a scene from the script. And then I was given the script after I was cast, before I signed a contract. And I read the script prior to signing anything to make sure that I liked it, and I did. I've done a bunch of horror films. I don't know if I've ever done a slasher before. I think this is my first slasher.
Nice.
It won't be your last, though, right?
I hope not. I mean, I love being covered in blood, so that's the best part of the job.
You've said that a lot on filming.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, Jake. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the. I feel bad. Just,
I feel like before we know it, he's going to reenact his own little personal horror movie, and we're all going to be wondering what's real.
I keep thinking that.
It's going to look
He's gonna pop out in the back seat, and then one time he's gonna
It's
come
funny.
back and
it says he has an RA connection. I don't know what's going on. It's weird because Scott's been here the whole time, and his says that it's like not connected.
Holy smokes, you're moving. I thought you just had a cardboard cutout.
Jake, we hear you. Do you not hear us? Maybe he
He
can't
must
hear
not
us.
hear.
Jake,
Maybe-
you hear us? Nope. Yes, maybe.
I don't think you
sound
can
like it.
Doesn't sound like it.
Can you hear any of us, Jake?
No.
Technology.
Tony, you want to message him real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Anybody seen the movie Host?
Which like the Japanese one with the
Just the one with the people in the.
Oh yes, yes, I did see that. The yeah, the
That's what's
American.
getting. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It was actually done pretty well. That was a pandemic movie too, wasn't it?
no, was that the one with the Airbnb?
It was the one where they had the people were in the call like this and started dying.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't hope. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyways, because I know KateLynn does have a out in a little bit. So I want to make sure people can talk about a little bit about what else they have going on. Jake, can you hear us? Yes, no? All right, good.
But we
All right.
can't hear him. I can't hear him.
On it. All right, you should be able to hear me now.
There we go.
Yes,
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay, perfect.
we got it.
Okay. So besides obviously, you know, do you guys have any other projects out now that anyone can check out for anyone who wants to see what they have? Like, hey, who's this guy that I want to see getting chased around the woods? I want to see what Anthony's been up to. Like, any other projects out there that people can check out that you guys have been in?
Actually, funny enough, you mentioned that June 12th, a movie that both KateLynn and I are both in, Roger Connor's Meet, world premiere up in Cleveland, June 12th. That'll be out.
What is it?
It's
Called
called
Meat.
Meat. It's got some brutal kills in it, and it's all practical effects.
There you go.
The killer's super cool. So I guess I have been in a slasher before, because that is definitely a slasher.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that's in Cleveland. There's a premiere in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Is that going to be on like VOD or anything after? Do you know of?
I'm sure at some point it will, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I don't know when exactly.
he's also looking to do another theater run too, so it's going to be out again a couple of times, and I'm sure he'll get it out there as soon as he possibly can. And I'm pretty sure he mentioned something about DVDs as well.
Oh, nice. There you go, Tony.
Mm.
You should do the old like the old school where they used to tour with the movie and do the
Convention run.
No, not the convention run, but like who's the old school director that used to tour with his movies and set up like
Do a road show.
Yeah, that like the Tingler and stuff like that, where the chairs would vibrate. I don't remember that director's name because I just don't. I'm very
Forgetful.
yes. What was that again? Who were you? All right. So we have Meat coming out, and is there anything available? KateLynn, you're on like a Hulu show, aren't you?
I had a very small part in that, and I also had a very small part in Clint Eastwood's, what they are saying to be his last movie. But I've got Replicator that is out on, I think it's on Tubi and Amazon Prime, and on Cranked Up, which is a streaming service, a horror streaming service.
I haven't even heard of that one.
Replicator is pretty cool. All practical effects. Well, 95% practical effects, but they're cool. It's like a sci-fi horror. Very Lovecraftian. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
The one I'm excited for is Devour. I've heard so many things beforehand. Like that's one of the. I do a whole bunch of like stuff on TikTok, and the horror community around that usually has that like one or two they latch on for the longest time. And Devour is one I was like, when is this movie coming out? I just keep hearing about it, and I'm like, I have to eventually see it.
I've seen the real trailer, and it's so cool. So that'll be dropping sometime soon. But they're going to do a festival run, a little festival run, and then I would imagine it'll get released by the end of this year.
That's one thing with indie films. It's just like sometimes it takes you see it and you just can't wait, and then it's just like, when's it coming? And then it finally does come. But it's worth the wait.
Sometimes it just doesn't. That
Yeah,
happens too.
that's true. Sometimes it just doesn't.
It's unfortunate because there's been so many movies that I've been like, oh, I cannot wait, and then it's just like that got shelved completely. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're killing me. This is
That
ridiculous.
will not be happening to Devour. It's
Okay.
in audio post right now. It's almost done.
Okay. And that won't be happening with Deathwoods either, because we're gonna see that.
No, Deathwoods is going to come out.
All right.
Damn right.
That's what.
Darn tootin'. That's right. And for Anthony, is there anything out there that people can check out, like that's streaming right now? That do you have anything out there?
Yeah, there's a handful of them circling right now. The most recent one that came out, it's not horror, it's actually drama. It's called Shredded. That one's on Amazon Prime. And then I have a couple other that are hanging out on Tubi right now. But I mean, as soon as you're put on the spot to answer it,
Yeah.
all of them tend to escape you. But the most recent project that's coming up, we begin production on June 1st, which is this coming Sunday. We start on What's Wrong, Wendy, which is a really big horror that we're going to be working on. It's kind of in the realm of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, kind of meets Jennifer's Body, Ginger Snaps, and a little bit of the Winchester brothers meshed into one character. This guy.
Nice.
That
That's
sounds
awesome.
like a very interesting premise.
Yeah.
Kind of has that like Monster Squad feel to it too, from like
You wait.
a little of every single monster. So that sounds very nice.
Oh yes.
And what about you, Scott? Do you have any scripts that you've been working on, or any projects you've been working on?
Yes, I've just about completed a script for another slasher that I'm looking to shoot next spring, titled School's Out. It's a high school slasher movie.
Nice. Is it going to take place in current time, or is it going to be a throwback? Or
It's going to be current time. There are some scenes back in the past. It's more of a revenge movie, so there are some scenes that are like 20 years earlier.
oh, nice.
So I'm guessing you grew
up.
up with a lot of the '80s, like what is it? Student Bodies and
Oh, yes.
I
stuff
don't know
like
if you
that.
mentioned Student Bodies. Student Bodies is just a parody movie, though.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
but it also, what is it, like Horror High
Yeah.
and
Horror High was great.
yeah, there's a few of those. I mean,
Those George was clean.
If KateLynn and Anthony, if you've never seen Student Bodies, I highly recommend that you maybe don't see it. It is mediocrity at its finest. It is
Googling now.
racist. It's a little bit of racism and just some really just weird humor. There's this guy who talks to a rubber chicken on the phone, and he just goes click at the end of the conversation. He's like, "Did you just hang up on me?" No, I just said click. Like that's like an ongoing joke, and it's never funny, but they keep doing it.
tell
And,
us how you
It's
really
a
feel.
really bad 80s version of the movie Scary Movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sometimes Malbert pees red is one of the lines in the movie. I watched it like it was going out of business. Like I watched it like it was. I thought it was fantastic when I was a kid, but it's really not great. But I own it on Blu-ray.
That's what matters.
That's all that matters, right? I just want to point out too. Life is Pain pointed out that he was born in 1996, so the 70s was not familiar to him, so that he didn't get the. I'm like 96. I was already out of high school when he was born. That makes me feel very old.
That was
We don't
your
need to disclose
it was
ages.
released.
All right. I have a feeling that I'm still an old guy amongst all these people here right now. But anyways,
My first movie in the theaters was in 1978 when I was 5, and it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
ooh, I'm
yeah,
jealous.
that's what got me hooked.
That's
Yes.
I got a big ass Leatherface tattoo on my arm.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
It's I got to the day after I got it done, I met Gunnar for the last time before he passed. And but yeah, Gunnar was a good dude. I don't know if you ever got a chance to meet him. He was a very, very like sweet man. He loved his fans. But
I
yeah,
got to work on a movie with him.
what were you saying, Scott?
Oh, sorry. I got to work on a movie with him.
Nice.
in 2006 called The Deepening. A friend of mine shot in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
So I got to hang out with him for a few days. He was really nice.
Yeah,
Really big
yeah.
guy.
Yeah. It was I ended up working for a company. I was his wife was an assistant manager of a store, and I was a regional auditor for that region. And so he would sign things instead of "I know where you live, I know where you work." So I was like, "Yeah, I have an in with Gunner, hooray!" But yeah, he was. I don't know. I was on vacation reading his book when I got the word that he passed, and I was like, I legit teared up. I was a sad boy because I was reading his book at the time, you know. But like the one about the history, like about the making of the movie and everything. But yeah, it's my favorite horror movie as well. But yeah. So KateLynn, I don't know. Is it about time? I want to do your
Yeah, I
plug.
have to move in a couple minutes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to do your plug so people can follow what you got going on?
Sure.
All right. What do you got?
You can find me on Instagram, KateLynn Newberry, which is my name. And I have a TikTok. I don't use it. So you can follow me there, but it's pretty slow there.
Cool. And yeah, so yeah, go check out her stuff, and she has to take off. But we appreciate your time.
Yeah,
And
thanks
good
for
luck with
having me.
everything. And
Thank
we're
you for
looking
coming
forward
on.
to, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the movie when it's out and about. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
See ya. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
And Anthony, while we're at it, do you want to give your plugs?
Yeah, sure. Of all the platforms that exist, I'd say the best one to find me is going to be on Instagram, the real Anthony Dain, as opposed to that fake one that's out there. I don't know. I'm sure everybody's got some doppelganger out there, but yes, the real Anthony Dain is where you can find me on Instagram.
Nice. And Scott, yourself?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. It's Scott C131313. And we also have an Instagram for the movie. It's DEATHWOODS_movie. Our original one, for some reason, was taken down. It had been reported, so we created a new one, and we're trying to get our followers back on there.
Oh, that stinks.
That's weird because usually, like Instagram too, has it's a little bit more lenient than some of the other stuff. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It just one day, all of a sudden, it popped up that we had been taken down, and they didn't let us have it back. So, unfortunately, we had to create a new one, and we're trying to get all the followers back. So, if you're on here, give us a follow, please.
Yes, that's ridiculous. Like I hate when that crap happens, especially like when, like imagine Tony. Like I'm not trying to jinx you, but imagine if something happened with your TikTok and you had to get all your followers back.
No, it happened. I wasn't it was like when I first started, and I got to like 5,000, and I thought that was like that took me forever, and then I got reported or whatever, and they took my page down, and then I had to for like twice I had to send like an appeal, and then it just didn't work, and then they finally gave it back. But I was like, after that, because it took like a year and a half to do that, and I'm just like, that was like a year and a half of my life trying to like build up a following in the movie community, and then so I could just imagine it. It's just like but the true fans would probably find their way back to it and stuff like that. So
We'd hope so. Tony, do you want to give your plugs?
might as well. So I do. It's Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. I haven't really made a video in a couple years, actually, just because I've been venturing to other platforms. But I do have some stuff in there. So if you want to see the collection or my reviews and stuff, go there. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's in my plug. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my the one I use the most, almost to 30,000 followers on there, where I do reviews and show off the collection and show off some movies that you might not have heard of or you might have forgotten about. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Wicked Horror Show most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome guests or it's just open horror movie discussions, find us here. Remember to check us out live so you can see trailers like it. Instead of hearing it, you could see it. So,
Yes.
Kevin.
Myself, just a knuckle on Instagram. And sorry, I was looking up. I have coming up in August. I know it's a little far out, but August 15th and 16th, I'll be at Vernon Downs Casino Hotel moderating panels for Sci-Fi Horror Fest. I'll be moderating panels for Bill Moseley, Tyler Main, Carolyn Williams, Lisa Wilcox, William Forsythe. And,
wow, you'll be busy that weekend.
I'll be a busy boy. Yeah.
Love that for you.
Do you have it down pat now? Like, do you still have the pre panel jitters, or you've done enough where it's like?
I mean, I guess it depends. My whole thing is if I can get someone in the audience to laugh at least once, then I'm good. And I usually try to do that early on, and usually it's the same crowd for all of the panels. So I'll be able to be like, yeah, you know, whatever. I'll be like people that I'll know after, especially by the end of the weekend, you know. Sergio, happy birthday, Sergio. His birthday just passed. He turned 46. Happy birthday, Sergio. You're very old. It's all downhill from here, my friend. Believe me, I know. But yeah. So that's that. And if you're if you happen to, in August, if you happen to be in New York, upstate New York, go check out Sci-Fi Horror Fest and watch me make a fool of myself on stage in front of William Forsythe.
Is he going to be the one that's?
Yeah. I've met him a couple times. I've never talked to him like that, but it'll be interesting. You know, he was in Dick Tracy.
Who was he in Dick Tracy?
Flat Top.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he was Flat Top.
To be fair, I haven't seen that kid. I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, so anything is going to surprise me at this point.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. He was in I'm trying to think. I think he was in a Coen Brothers movie too. I forget. I don't know. Anyways, this is all just jibber jabber. This has nothing to do with nothing we were just talking about. So I'm going to stop. So thanks, everyone.
Jake tried.
Yeah,
trying at this point.
You know Jake's socials at all? Anyone? Do you know how to follow Jake if Jake has anything going on?
Well, I follow him on Instagram, so let me plug that for him.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I was just going to say, make sure to
It looks like it's just his name, Jake Kopronica. Hopefully I said that correctly. I probably didn't. But he's not here, so.
I can't get the focus to run, but yeah, you got it.
I believe that.
Angel's joining us at literally the last minute. Angel, literally, you're 59 minutes late for the show.
I don't know what I'm doing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're 59 minutes late for the show.
Hi.
Hi. All right, we're gonna let everyone go.
I can't hear you, but all right.
Okay.
So
bye. Thanks, guys, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.